All right, thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of A Name Tag is Necessary. I'm your host, Nametag Alexander. Visit the website www.nametagalexander.com. Make sure you order some merch. Check out some music. The single, The Victor, produced by Black Beethoven, also mixed by Desmond, aka DJ DDT. Travis is available now across all platforms. We can stream and download music. We back with it. We got a special guest on. Y'all know I ain't really been doing too many guests for the podcast like that, but we got one that's on who's not only a songwriter, MC, but a producer though. Like, how about that? MC, a part of a producer collective at that, and at the same time, you know, a father. A father is very active, so much respect for that. But we got Travis Slang on, man. What's going on, Travis? What's the word with you?
Yo. What up, though? Yes.
Because, you know, label podcast, we have been talking about getting you on. Like I said, I was doing a label Q&A, and I know I said I was going to try to get you on. But yeah, like, you know what? We got the new podcast flipped out, so let's go ahead and have them on, man. So I've been trying this new structure that I tested out before the name of the podcast changed. And I said, I just want to kind of do my show like this going forward because I'm always interested in knowing another person's taste in music or like what they're listening to, be it hip hop, whatever genre. So let me just start doing a show like that and really just get the icebreaker going and get the conversation flowing just to see where everybody else is at as far as music. Cause I'm always talking about what I'm listening to, or if you people that's familiar with my Instagram stories, I'm always sharing like what I'm listening to, but let me see what other people are involved with. So what I want to know is, cause that came from this app called a Fan Label, which I never downloaded the app, but I heard the CEO of the app on the podcast. But it's called Fan Label, and it basically like gives you the opportunity to pretty much run a record label, a fantasy label perhaps. But so the question from that came to, if you had the opportunity to run a record label with millions in the budget, what 5 artists would you partner with? Hence, I said partner with. We ain't gonna say sign or own asses, but what 5? They don't all have to be rappers or nothing. But like, what 5 artists would you partner with? It could be from any genre. And then, what 3 producers would you have on board, and why for each of your picks?
Wow,
tough,
that's
right?
a deep one, man. Yeah, that's a tough one, but it's very interesting question, man. But I would have to say honestly though, man. In that situation, man, I had the budget too, man. You said 5 of them?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, 5.
5 artists. Yep.
5 artists. Wow. I would go with one. One is, you probably look at me and say, "Oh, well, I gotta figure that." But one would be West Side Gun.
Okay.
West Side Gun from Griselda. And the reason be, I just respect the consistency from what he does, and just, you know, everything that he has his hands involved in, man. And you know, I just respect that a lot, man, because like those guys over there, man, they're like super consistent, man.
And he wears that hat as an executive producer too, on
Dog.
top of doing the cover art and handling the merch and everything. So that's
man.
that's like a triple threat in itself.
That is a triple threat in itself. So definitely West Side Gun would be one. The other one would probably be Puffy, man.
Okay.
I would probably have Puffy on board. More so of the business end of things. Puffy, you know, Puffy get a lot of slack of you know, doing artists wrong and this, that, and the third. But I just look at it like that man was a straight businessman. Like, he knew from the gate, like he just knew how to structure and run a label, man. And, you know, unfortunately, man, for a lot of the artists, man, you know, that you know, they said that whatever, you know, did them wrong or this, that, and the third. I just think a lot of artists just didn't have, you know, the right lawyers and people looking at that stuff, man. But it's a business though, man.
Yeah.
And I just think that, you know, Puffy just ran his business just like, you know, second to none, you know what I mean? And I would definitely go with somebody like Puffy, man.
So we got West Side Gun, okay.
Yeah, Puffy.
Whatever name you want to go by, Diddy,
right,
Brother Love. You know what I'm saying?
Right, for sure. Third, I'll probably have to go with the man Sean Carter, man.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, you know, as not himself, you know, Hova. You know, obviously, man, that you know, Hova to me
that's
is
longevity.
Yeah, that's just longevity, man. He's always been an inspiration for me, man. Just watching him over the years, man, and just from where he came from to what he's developed to. And I'm just looking at like any man that can, sit there and come, because this man came from nothing, man. He came
Right.
from the gutter, Marcy Projects, man, out the slums, into drug dealing, into a mogul, to entrepreneur, to like this mega billionaire, like, what I'm saying?
Literally.
Literally. And, and I'm just like, wow, like that's like the ultimate hustler, the ultimate grinder to me. And, anybody like that, I would definitely, have to have on my team, man, because that is like monstrous what he's done for the culture and just for, hip hop in general, man. So
Exactly. I 100% agree. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like that's like you say, he covered all ground. Like just whatever. If any artist is coming in the game to be like, yeah, I'm just trying to
yeah,
have it all. He pretty
yeah.
much did that. You know what I'm
He,
saying? So
he
I
he did
agree.
it. He definitely did it with no problem, man. So that's
That's
third.
three.
That's three. Okay. Now let me see the last two. That's gonna be a toughie with me, but
It always, yeah,
um,
that's how it always is.
it's always the last two. But man, I would probably. Oh my God, that's a good one. I'll probably have to say, I am probably going to have to go with Dr. Dre. I would say. Um,
Okay, so now we got somebody that's on the beats.
yeah,
Hell,
and
beats,
that's
mixing,
why I had to.
mastering.
Right, and that's
Oh,
what
so you
I and
gonna
that's
you doing it like that? You gonna get
yeah,
Diddy and Dre on the same team?
yeah, for sure, man. And that's why I had to, come to the conclusion with Dre, because Dre, man, what Dre did. I mean, Dre was, to me, was beyond a producer. Like Dre was just like this innovator. And
Yeah,
like, I could only imagine. I mean, I would love to get the opportunity one day, but I can always only imagine. And just looking at documentaries and different footage of him in studios, man, and working with artists, and how he
he's a
collectively
workhorse.
put his workhorse, man, just how he was able to structure music and even working with artists, and how they came up with these concepts of different songs, and just how his shit came together. It was just like superb. It was like a movie, like making a movie. It was like Spielberg meets what I'm saying, Robert
Yeah,
Downey Jr. or something. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how Dre was to me, man. And so yeah, definitely Dre would definitely be my
and he
fourth pick on
spanned
that.
like so many generations, like from the '80s
Yes,
till now, like to
yes,
this day. Like we got pretty much like, well, TDE was. I feel like TDE, the label was gonna be TDE regardless, but
yeah,
just them
yeah,
being on that high of a platform that they are, like to me, with
yeah,
Kendrick being the flagship artist, well, technically J Rock, but then obviously Kendrick coming in, really being the flagship artist, like because of Dre. You know what I'm
for
saying?
sure.
Like that tree, that family tree from Dr. Dre is just like
Yeah,
ridiculous, man. So damn, that Diddy and Dre on the same team. All right.
yeah, for sure.
So we got five. This the tough one.
Yeah, this the tough one, man. Man, whew, the fifth one, man, that I could have on my team, man. Oh man, that's a tough one, man. That's a real tough one, man. But if I had to really just go for anybody, man, that's really doing it, and I know that's gonna really bring something strong to the team, man. Oh boy. Oh man, you got me with this one. I think, man, that's really tough, man. That's really tough,
I
man.
told you it's always gonna be interesting to see like what people.
That
At first, I
is.
mean, I don't want to ask people that per se. Like that's just a standard. Like, no, if you talking about like somebody running a label, like anybody running a label, they
Yeah.
want to be successful. So like,
Man,
who you
you talk about
bringing
running
to
a
the table? You know what I'm saying? A
man.
5-person roster, like that's crazy.
That's crazy, man. But it's crazy, man. But I would have to probably, and this is like probably left field, man. But I would go with RZA, man.
Whoa, now you just
Yeah,
playing dirty.
yeah.
Okay,
I would go with RZA, man.
so you gonna have every album being like a gritty score. Like
Yeah,
look at
yeah,
Westside
yeah.
Gun over here. Like this is about to be a score. Like every album
It's
about to be
gonna
a
be a
score, man.
score. It's gonna be a
Jay-Z potentially
movie.
could be he's an artist in himself, and on top of that could ghostwrite for Diddy
Yes,
or Dre. Like, that's crazy. Yeah, that's
yes,
that's
yes.
that's a curveball. Like I ain't expect that. I didn't.
Yeah, man. I said, you know, and RZA, man, RZA, just looking at what RZA did with the Wu, man, the Wu-Tang
Yeah.
Clan, man,
Hell yeah.
alone. And then everything after that, you know, him getting into, you know, production and movies and stuff like that. And just the other stuff, like the genius, his mind was genius. Like a lot
Yeah.
of people, you know, hear a lot of people talk about RZA, man. But I mess with RZA a lot, man, because I just like not only obviously what he did with Wu-Tang Clan was historical, man, but just I look at his writing, like he's wrote movies, he's been in a
Acting
lot
too.
of
You know what I'm
stuff,
saying?
acting, yeah, he did the acting and stuff, man, and I just look at like he was just genius, but it showed through the music too, man, and
Yeah.
somebody like that can put stuff together in your organization, man, and like really map it out. Like say if you really trying to have like a run and really have a growth level to it and a build up to it, I think somebody like RZA could really lead you to it, man, just because he just had that type of ethnic to his
See, I
music.
wish I would have sent you this question in advance because it's you coming up with that on the spot, like thinking about it
Yeah.
for a second, but coming up with it on the spot. So I'm imagining like what you would have came up with just having time to sit with
Oh
that.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
'Cause this next one I
Yeah.
did, and that's a good selection, man. That's a hell of a roster. I did send you this one in advance, and it was All right, before we continue, this is for all the independent music artists across the board. That's from the songwriters, the producers, the publishers, on down to the recording artists. I need y'all to tap in. This will be real quick. If you plan on continuing to pursue or start pursuing a career in music, if you haven't done so already, you definitely need to get familiar with the inner workings of the business handled outside of the creative process. A lack of knowledge on the administrative end, that can lead to you being lost out here in the oversaturated music industry. But you can avoid being lost by tapping into getting the necessary resources brought to you by the College of Hip Hop. They have artist ownership tools to help you navigate the music business. Now there's 2 artist ownership bundles. The Artist Ownership Bundle 1, it includes 4 video lessons to assist the artists in owning the rights to their musical works, along with a PDF to visit the website locations taught in the lessons that include basic copyrights, publishing, and encoding. Now Artist Ownership Bundle 2, it includes 3 video lessons that assist the artists in owning the rights to their musical works, along with the resource guide to visit the website locations taught in those lessons that include the Articles of Incorporation, ISRC encoding, and basic trademark. You can access both bundles by clicking on the links I've included in the description of this episode. Now let's continue with the show. What are your 3 classic go-to albums? All ain't got to be hip hop. They could be from any genre. Like your 3
Oh, okay.
classics. Like this your pick, right? Your picks. Like this is what I'm going to, like, from whatever time it came out until like now. I'm always revisiting this album. I'm always going to this album to like rock with.
Wow. Believe it or not, man, what I said was with that was Marshall Mathers LP.
Okay.
Eminem.
Why though? I'm curious to hear why. Because I would say
Why? Well,
because
for
we around
me,
the same. We in a similar age bracket. So
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
curious to know,
yeah.
like.
Well, for me, around that time when that album dropped, man, I was, I'm from the east side of Detroit, obviously, man. But Eminem was like around that time, that era, and the age frame I was. You gotta think about it, I'm thinking around. Ooh, when that dropped, that was what shit.
See, I was in middle school. Now I was
Yeah.
just going to 8th grade when that came on. Was I about to finish 8th grade? No, that's
Okay.
2000.
Yeah.
He kept
So yeah.
Martha's LP came out in 2000, I believe. So
Okay. So
if
yeah.
I'm
So
not mistaken.
I was hitting high school. I was a freshman, so I was about ninth
Okay.
grade.
Yeah, because we were
So
around the
yeah.
same age. So yeah, I
Yeah.
remember,
Yeah.
because I just remember that summer. I remember like my first summer job that I had, like, and
Right.
literally was wanting to write like more. Like I was writing beforehand, but it wasn't like nothing I was taking seriously. Something about that album like did it
Yeah.
for me. I mean, just the intricate wordplay, and it was like, oh
Yes.
snap, like this is it.
It was
So
innovative. It was
that's why I
very
had to know
innovative.
why, because I know like a handful of people that'd be like, that's one of their like go to, or if you be like, well, what made you really want to get into writing, and they will mention that album. That
Sure.
lets you know that was one of M's classics, man, and just like
Oh, it's
a
classic, hands
pick from
down.
a lot of us to be like, that's a go to.
Hands down, without a doubt, man. From first track to end,
Yeah,
I would play that shit every day. like like seriously, like I had my little CD Walkman and stuff, man. All that stuff back
I
then,
begged my
man.
mom to buy the tape. Like literally,
Yeah,
I actually was able to buy it from this one liquor
yeah.
stores you were selling to, and
Yep,
sometimes
yep.
you're
That's where I
lucky
got mine from.
and
Cause me
buy
too,
it
though.
and want to get the credits. But this one, I was able to get the credits and everything. Like, oh, this is the
Yeah,
real thing. You know what I'm saying? I was
yeah.
happy as hell about it. I used to always beg my mom to buy certain like tapes, man. I just had to have. Like, she was like, all
Yes,
right, whatever.
sir.
I turned
Yes,
out okay.
sir.
It didn't influence me in no way. Though. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, it's not. It went through a lot of shit on that album, man. But no, M didn't influence me in that way. But it was just
Lyrically, though, it was like,
innovative.
oh shit, like this
It
guy
was,
is like
man,
on another
the way
level.
he was rhyming on there from I am, the way I am,
We
all
knew it
that
from the
shit.
Slim Shady LP, but this one was just like, man, like, yo, he's nuts. You know what I'm saying?
Nuts,
The way I
dude.
am
That was
shit.
nuts. Nuts, man. So yeah, that was definitely one of the go-tos for me. The second one, man, and I'm just thinking of like stuff that it's crazy because for me, I'm a universal listener, man. Like I listen to all type of music, but just go-tos, like sometimes, you got to have
It's
certain
the
music
ones.
to go back to and just really analyze it because I like to go deep into the artist in that time frame and what
Yeah.
was on that mind, man. So like for me, man, that's one of them was Eminem. And then the second one was probably uh Purple Haze Camera. Um
Wow. I would have never expect like
yeah. I was
so
man, listen, I was a huge Cameron fan at a point. I went through a phase, man, where it was crazy because a lot of people hated Cameron, but I was the oddball guy. Like
the album has
I
some
liked
joints
it.
on there though. That's the
He
one with
had
Get 'em
some
Girl, right?
joints on there, man. He has, man, the Heat makers, man, went crazy on that
This is the
album,
joint
man.
that got Get 'em Girl on there, right?
Yes, sir. Yes,
And the
sir.
joint with
Yeah, Get 'em
Kanye.
Girl, Kanye. Yeah, all that's on there. Yep, yep. Down, down, with Kanye,
Yeah.
all that
Yep.
shit. Yeah, all that was on there. So all that stuff, man, like that was definitely my go-to. That's an album that I still go back and forth and just listen to. I just take a glimpse down memory lane with it, man, just because I just want to, it just
Yeah.
put me in that mode sometimes, especially when I'm in writing mode. Like I listen to multiple albums when I'm in my writing mode, but that was that's definitely one of those albums that I just kind of go back and just analyze the time frame and just how Cameron was feeling. How these artists was feeling then and try to
Yeah.
get into their head and when they was writing this, like, what they was going through. And it kind of just helps me build up my own arsenal of stuff sometime, man. And but yeah, man, it was definitely Purple Haze, man, Cameron.
Wow. That see, yeah, okay. See. Okay.
Yeah.
All
I know
right.
that was a curveball
Cause
for
I'm like,
sure.
wait, I thought you when you said Cameron, did he mean to say the come home with me jump? But then I thought about now Purple Haze has some shit on there though
No,
too. You
no,
know what I'm saying?
don't
Like,
get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Yes, and I know that's weird. You would think, yeah, I'm talking about come home with me. Come home with me was what it was for sure.
mm-hmm.
But it's Purple Haze for me, man. Purple Haze was one of the
Yeah,
albums
Purple
that
Haze.
stuck
Yeah,
with
'cause
me.
now I'm thinking about it. It had Get 'em Girl, Down and
Get 'em
Out.
girl on her down and out.
The oh
It
man,
had it had
the Kumbaya killer. What do you say? Yeah, Kumbaya killer, Cam, my
Billy
lord.
Cam back there. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Get 'em Daddy. All that was on there. There was a lot
Ice
of
look
different
like
stuff
when
on there.
some limit
Yeah,
had ice look. Yeah, he did have that joint on. Yeah, that album has some
yeah.
joints on
He
there.
had some joints on there. He
That
had
was
some
like what
joints
oh
on there.
five probably like maybe oh four oh five.
Oh 05-ish, 6-ish, somewhere in there.
I feel like
Yeah.
it might have been oh four because I remember the
Was
Hate
it?
Lady joint came out. Yeah, the Hate because I remember we went to a college, me and a couple of my homies performed at this college one time because
Mhm.
for some reason we had rocked to the Tipsy instrumental by Jay Quan, and I remember we rolled up there and we was playing Purple Haze. So we hadn't even graduated yet. So that was like oh four, I think. That might have been oh four
Really?
when that came out, the Purple Haze.
Really?
I would have to
Okay.
I had to look on Apple Music or something to
You,
double check, but see,
you might be right about that. You might
I
be
mean,
right about that.
apparently it is a classic. I like when albums take you back to a certain place.
Yeah.
I remember
Yeah, dog.
a
Yeah,
lot
I
of
like
music
I
today
like
don't do that, man. Dang, that's crazy.
exactly, man. I like to go back for a minute and just kind of get that feel, especially, coming from that era, man. Like, we came up in that era. So
Yeah,
that era, for me as an artist, man, and a producer for inspiration, and it's just not a diss to like the new and up and coming artists and stuff, because I like a lot of new artists too.
yeah,
But like for me, I can't. A lot of the music now it's just what it is. It's music, but
it's just music.
it have to be relatable for me though. and that's the thing. Like I have to go back and listen to stuff that I was able to identify with in some way, shape, or form, whether it's from an art form or just from a self perspective form. You know what
You
I
know
mean?
what it is too, and this is something that DDT says a lot.
Mm-hmm.
The different, a lot of the music at a certain time point was mixed in analog compared to
Mm-hmm.
now where everything's so digital. It do something, and then with these streaming services, man, they once it goes to those streaming platforms, it's like the music becomes like it's an extra compression to it or something, to where it kind of gives it this thin feel. Like if you ever play like some shit in the whip, and like say if you play it on Spotify or like Apple, it don't knock the same. And granted,
Mm-hmm.
got the high definition or you know the higher the whatever the quality of the play that you could do like with Tidal or whatever. What is it? Is it high def or something like
High def,
that?
yeah,
I think
it's
I'm
like
saying it
high
right.
def or
And it's
hi-fi. I think hi-fi.
yeah, it might be hi-fi. I think I'm gonna have
Yeah.
to. I'm gonna look it up while I'm on the line right now. But yeah, it's like the sound is different. So it's like I think that's another thing compared to like a lot of the music back then
Yeah.
compared to like now is the mix, the quality of the mix too.
Yeah, yeah. D, it's crazy you said that because D always say that. You know, DDT always say that, man.
Yeah,
And
it's like analog.
yeah, analog. He preaches that all the time, man. And
Yeah, it's
you
hi-fi.
know,
Well, I had it right. I
yeah,
don't know why I said high
yep,
def. You watching it on TV.
right, right.
It's high
No, I knew it was
definition.
hi-fi. I knew
High
what you was talking
definition
about.
TV.
Right.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, it definitely was a different sound. Like the analog had that warm, filling sound to it, and you hear the difference. You hear it now. Like everything is like just like I don't know. Like I always say, like it seems like in music today, it seems like it's a lot of high and mid. Just
Yeah, I was
you
real
know,
high today.
like everything is so high.
I threw on the CD for Slum Village Fantastic Volume 2, and I could just let that
Yeah,
play straight through because that's all analog and it was on CD. Like I
crazy,
literally got
crazy.
I got a car with the CD player in it on purpose just because you know what I'm saying, still get that
Yeah,
sound sometimes. Like the digital is cool, it's convenient, but it's like that sound ain't the same. Even when it like I've tried Tidal Hi-Fi and I tried like the higher quality version of Spotify, and it's like nah, it still ain't the same. But
yeah.
that's two. So we said Eminem, Marshall Mathers LP, Cameron's
Um,
Purple Haze. What's the third one? This is gonna be the tough one.
yeah, man. But I'm gonna go with Outcast. Thank all you, man.
Wait a minute. See, you say Outcast and immediately I just knew. I said he about to say when you say Outcast, my mind immediately was like, well, he's probably about to say Aquemini or ATM. But you say Stank on you, so I'm curious to know. Like,
Stank on
okay,
you. Stank
wow,
on you, man. Stank on you was man, like for me, like Stank is crazy because I got Stank on you. Remember when we used to get the shit in the mail and used to have all the CDs on the back that you get for
yes,
1 penny
in
and shit?
Columbia House.
Columbia Records, right? And I got that in a bunch of other CDs. I got that album, man. And
That's how I got my D'Angelo the Voodoo joint. I got D'Angelo
yeah,
Voodoo off that.
yeah,
And for
yeah.
some reason, well, Maroon 5, that song's about Jane album still slap. I don't care what nobody say. I got that Maroon 5 album up
Yes,
off
sir.
the
Yes,
too.
sir. Yeah, Maroon 5 is man. They're definitely super talented, man. But yeah, man, Outkast Sting Yo, you dog, like that album, man, like when I was listening to that shit, I was just like, wow, like these dudes were like Andre and Big Boy was
I'm
just
pulling
like
this one up because I'm let
man,
me see. That's
they were ahead of their time for sure.
hell yeah.
They were definitely, and they still are to this day, in my opinion, man. But they like Stank on you put me in a place of like soul, art, just mind, body, just
I'm not
everything.
gonna
But it's
front. I remember having this album, but I
yeah,
don't thoroughly remember like the track. I mean, I know the singles. I know okay, So Fresh, So Clean, Miss
so
Jackson.
fresh and so clean on there. Miss Jackson is on there. Hits, yeah, hits on there. And then
I
I
thought
remember
this one
vividly.
had the
I remember
spotty maybe that's off of maybe that was on the Quimini. You know what I'm
what's
talking
that?
about? The
Yeah, that was off the criminal, I think.
okay, okay.
Yeah. But I
Oh, it had
remember this
B.O.B.
album. I remember this album so vividly because the CD, like not the cover, but the CD itself had a picture of a naked lady on it. Like, and if you go,
I
like, I don't
do
know,
remember that.
do you remember that?
I do
Like,
remember that now. Who
they had a
had this
picture,
album? Because it wasn't my album. I think I borrowed this from somebody.
man. Dude, the album was just like freaky crazy, man. But it was so innovative and just like I'm an artist too, man. I like to paint pictures, man. And then when you listen to, Andre and Big Boy on there, man, like everything that they were rapping about was vivid. Like everything. And it's just
Yeah,
like each song, even So Fresh and So Clean, and that was like a commercial hit or whatever. But like just like that the shit they was talking about on there was like, it was like almost like pimp shit almost. But it was vivid in a way where it was like art almost. And I just like that. That's what made me really gravitate to that album so much because of the vividness in the lyrics that they had, man. Like everything was just like picture perfect from
you
what
got
they
some
was rhyming about.
these some interesting picks, man. Now
Yeah, man.
I had to send you this one in advance, so I don't know
Yeah.
if you was prepared for it, but I said if you were told you had to make a playlist of 10 songs that you
Mm,
feel are completely flawless. You could even pick songs from the albums that you said were like classics, but that you feel are completely flawless. And this is the only
flawless.
music you got to go with for 6 months. What 10 songs you picking? Any genre.
Yeah, it's crazy when you send me this. I was just like, I just smacked my hand over my face because I was
Now, mind you, with
like,
these, we don't gotta go into the reasons why. But it's
yeah,
just like I said, I'm just curious to hear what people's mind is at when it comes to music taste. But just 10 songs, like
sure, for sure.
you got this 6 months. You gotta do. I gotta rock with these 10, like for six. Oh man,
6 months. Wow. Oh boy. Um,
half a year.
half a year, man. Wow. Okay. So yeah. So basically, what I was able to just jot down in my head off top that I know that I can just like I could ride to this shit forever. And it's gonna be simplified because it's a broader scale than what I was able
Yeah.
to come up with. But I'm gonna give you the basic, the simplification of it. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm gonna say one is Erica Badu, Tyrone.
Okay.
Um, yeah, that's one of them songs I could I could
Zone
be
out.
zone out to that. I'm gonna go with D'Angelo. How does it feel? Untitled
Okay.
or whatever. This is the thing, mind you, this is the songs that I know I could just, what I'm saying, stimulate my mind and ride to. Eminem, The Way I Am.
That's three.
Yeah, that's three. I'm gonna go with Griselda, Dr. Bird.
Okay.
Um, how many we say? What do we say? 8?
10.
10.
We at
My
what,
bad.
4
Yeah,
right now.
we have 4 right now, right? Okay, just making sure. So we said, yeah, Griselda, Dr. Birds. What else we got? I'm going to go with Joel Santana. Mic check.
That
Um,
was a hard one.
that was a very hard one. And shout out to Joel's. He's another guy that I looked up to a lot. Who else, man? That's 5. And this was, like I said, this was really crazy for me to even try to go with, figure out. But like I said, I'm simplified, man. But so we said Joel's, Mike Check. I'm gonna go with Dr. Dre. Let Me Ride.
Oh
Um,
shit. That's what,
yeah,
6? All right.
yeah. This is classic shit, man. So yeah, Dr. Dre, Let Me Ride. I am going to also go with. Man.
Rookie number 7.
Yeah, it's a toss up with a couple with them, but I'm gonna probably have to go with I'm gonna go with Big Pun and Fat Joe, the twins. I don't
Oh
know if you're
man.
familiar with that. Yeah,
Hell yeah.
the twins project they did and shit. That shit
I
is
still can't say
bananas.
that pun line about Little Italy.
Dog, dog, did really
I still can't say that line right.
like nobody can say that shit. Only Bud Pug can say it. But dog, another classic, another banger that I can ride with. What's that? What's that? 8? Okay. So we said Big Pun, Fat Joe. Oh boy.
Well, that was 7. That was 7 because
Was
Dre
that
was
7?
6. Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
pun
I'm
was
about to say. Oh
7.
yeah. I thought.
So you got
Okay. So
3
that was
more.
7. My bad. Okay. I'm going fast. Okay. Hold on. So yeah, we said that. Ooh, I'm gonna go with Freeway, even though what we do is wrong.
Okay, now you talking. All right. Okay.
There we go. Yeah, Freeway, even though what we do is wrong. Classic. Um, I'm gonna go with um, I'm gonna have to go with. I'm gonna go with what the shit. Yeah, that's a tough one. I'm gonna go with Jay-Z, man.
Oh, he got so many.
Yes, Jay-Z had a couple on my list, man. But I'm gonna go with Hey Poppy on there.
That beat is crazy.
Cause I had to have some bounce, man. I'm gonna go with a little bounce with Jay, man, with the Hey Poppy, him and Timberland on that. That was crazy.
Now we at
But
number 10. We
yeah, we at
Hey
10
Poppy
now,
was
man.
hard. I
Yeah,
think
Hey Poppy, Hey Poppy, that was the shit. But number 10, man. I think I might have to go with mm, mm, mm. Golly, man. And like I said, this was really a tough
this
one,
the
man.
one that solidified the list.
Yeah, this definitely solidified the list for sure, man. But it's crazy because I even went old school for a minute, like just on some old back to the '70s shit. But then I was like, you know what,
That
I'm gonna
count?
keep
That
it.
count?
Yeah, I know it count. Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna keep it a collective group, man. But man, I'm gonna probably have to go with Biggie Juicy, man.
Okay.
That's it. Yeah,
Are you gonna go with the
that
standard, the
yeah.
universal Biggie track? Okay.
Yeah, the Biggie track, man. I'm going to keep it short. That's what I say. I simplified it as much as I could. It was a broader scale than that, but like I was trying to
I would have
like
ran. I would have ran with Story to Tell,
yeah,
and
storytell for sure. But
and
I just thought about I'm like 6 months. So I really had to
yeah.
put myself in that predicament. I'm like 6 months of 10 songs that I could just really just
But
rap.
see, in the beginning, because you said 8, I think going forward, when I do more episodes like this, I'm gonna go with 8
Yeah,
and raise the stakes and be like, this is forever. Because 8
right.
is infinite, so it's gonna these the 8 songs you gotta live with like for forever.
Whoa, wow.
It's gonna really make people think like, what? Like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
So you had
That
it a
ain't
little
even
easy.
fair,
You got
bro.
it a
That
little
ain't even
easy.
fair.
I'm like, yeah, this trial fault because he said 8. You thought it
Nah,
was 8, so
nah.
we all on 8.
That's not even fair. That's like torture. Like you
That's a
can't
hell of a
even.
list, though. That's a hell of a
Yeah,
list.
yeah,
Now,
man. Thank
one of
you,
the
thank you.
questions that I wanted to ask, this one I didn't send because this was kind of easy. But
Mm-hmm.
what collective of music artists do you feel had a lasting impact across both the industry and culture? Now, not just the music industry and how it influenced other artists, but just the culture in general. And when I say collective, I'm talking about it could be a label like Bad
Mm-hmm.
Boy, Death Row, or Cash Money, or whatever, or it could even be like multiple artists as a movement. And with movements, they could be spread across different labels. So with that, we're thinking like Wu-Tang Clan or Dungeon Family.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
what collective do you feel like had the largest impact across the industry and just the culture in general?
Wow. Well, I would probably I would have to go back to Hove again, man. Just what Hove did with Rockefeller, and then going into
Period.
Rock
Yep.
Nation, man, and then just even after all of that, just what he's done behind closed doors. A lot of people don't even speak on, just even with the criminal justice situations and all the other things that Jay does, man. I think he's like this crossover entity of hip hop. Like when you think of hip hop and what is done and the growth in it, you got to think of Jay, man, and
Just
because Jay,
Rockefeller, period.
this Rockefeller period, man, just he. Like he said, man, he made more millionaires than Lotto did, and I think I
And
think a
even
lot of
even
people,
even where how we may feel how we feel about him at times with Ye, but he's
yeah,
still, you know what I'm saying? Technically that's a lasting impact. Look at Yeezy season. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like that
yeah.
that's birthed from Rockefeller.
That's
You know
birth
what
from
I'm saying? So
Rockefeller, man. And even with that, like a lot of people don't like to give Jay credit for Kanye, and believe it or not, because people always go back and say, "Oh, well, that was Dame who
yeah,
put the even to him." But Jay actually
Jay still
like
had to rap over them
escalated.
beats.
Yeah, Jay the one was rapping over the beats. Jay escalated Kanye, in my
Oh
opinion.
shit! Even with Dame Dash, look at his infant man. I still say
Yeah,
the culture ain't been the same since that Breakfast Club interview from 2013.
man, man, you ain't
Culture ain't
lying
been the
about
same.
that, man. You ain't lying about.
Charlemagne. It did something to Charlemagne. It did something to Envy, Angela Yee, and everybody that watched that interview. Because afterward,
Yeah,
everybody was a boss.
everybody was a
Everybody.
boss.
Like, we still
Like
see
they
back to this
they
day.
made you want to be a boss, or if you didn't want to be a boss, you wanted to own some shit after that. Like you wanted
Before
to
that,
just do something.
see, I feel like before that, then that's a good answer to a Rockefeller. Because now that you saying it, got me thinking more. Like, yeah, they got the lasting impact because.
It did.
Like I mean, you could say Wu-Tang there, they had a strong impact, but did they have a lasting impact? I don't think so.
Right.
Like
Right.
for the niche audience, like for the folks like me and you and the other heads that rock with Wu, yeah. But
Yeah.
Rockefeller, just as far as the a certain sound and just the business end, like I say, that man, that Breakfast Club
Yeah.
interview, it did something to the game, man. It changed the game.
Yeah. It did, man. They were definitely head turners,
Or
man. Like
culture,
what
I should say culture, period, and within the
for
industry.
sure.
Because again, everybody, I'm a boss. Like if you, all of a sudden, it's still to this day, you see in posts. If you want to work for somebody that clap, why don't you want to work? I'm telling you, dog, it did something. I had this
It
conversation.
definitely did.
Shout out to Dean Garcia. I had a conversation with him all the time. Like, dog, that interview did it. It's Dame Dash fault. Like, dog.
Hey,
Him,
for
him and
sure.
Gary V. Like, you know.
Yeah, for sure. No, he got to take the blame on that. And it's crazy because that interview was literally what is he about 5 years old now?
Yep.
It's
Yep.
about 5 years old, and you
Well,
still
going
see
on because
clips
no,
of
that
it.
was 2013. Well, longer than that because it's what
Was it
2020 now.
2013?
Yeah, that was 2013.
Wow,
So
damn
it's
it!
long. We
Like
longer
that
than
long.
5 years. Yep.
Wow, was that
That joint
2013? Damn,
7 years old.
that's a 7-year-old
Look it up on
interview.
YouTube. It's gonna say
Holy
because
shit!
yeah,
I gotta look that up right quick. Like
my
seriously.
daughter was 2 at that time when that interview came out.
Wow,
Yep.
I did not realize that interview was that long. I mean, that old. Seriously, that's
I'm
crazy.
pretty because he's been on there since then, but it was a long time before he got back on there again. But yeah, that was like
No,
2013 because that's the same year. That was just an interesting year because that's the same year Cole dropped the Born
uh,
Center. Ye dropped Yeezus.
no. Listen, bro. I think that was 15. I'm looking at it now.
Straight?
Yeah, it says March 13th, 2015.
Are you
Yep,
serious?
I'm dead serious. I'm on YouTube right now on the Breakfast Club on their
Okay, no, you're
platform.
right. You're right. It might be
Yep.
okay. I might be
I had because
overstepping.
I had to verify that too. I'm like, no, I'm like, wait a minute, it
Because
can't be
I'm
that.
trying to think of like where I was living at the time, and I'm trying to think of the crib that we was in and stuff. So yeah,
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 yeah, yeah, yeah,
right,
yeah,
right.
yeah. No, I just 5 years definitely sounded solid because I'm like, it's 2020 now, and I'm like, it's getting up there in age. Don't get me wrong, but I'm like 7. I'm like, oh, damn, it don't sound like it's that old. You know what I'm saying?
It's
So
still one of the first things that pop up, like when you Google.
it
Oh yeah,
is
5 years ago. You're right. March 13th,
5 years.
2015. I don't know why I want to feel like it was 2013. But even still, 5 years
Yeah,
ago, yeah, that changed. So yeah, still 2 years,
yeah, for sure.
whatever, same time.
Yeah, same difference, same
Still,
difference.
like since then, man, like the internet, it changed the culture. Like everybody was, I'm a
Yeah,
boss, I'm a boss. I'm telling you, man,
yeah,
it's
it did.
crazy.
For sure. It definitely changed the game, changed the culture, it shifted the culture, and it made everybody become the new entrepreneur, which is we didn't and I think, to be honest too, and I'm just going not harping on it too long, but just to be honest, I think it also helped a lot of the up and coming artists that you see come
Yeah,
out not even want to even cling on to a major label. Everybody just went independent and was like, I
yeah,
can do this shit myself. I think because of that interview, it single-handedly helped a generation to believe in themselves more, and because it sprung out like a wildfire. It's like, oh, Dame Dash is saying that you shouldn't punch a clock, basically. Like they was just Dame Dash was like
yep.
public enemy #1 when that shit came out.
And which
But
that transitions me into
yeah,
one of my next questions when it comes to the music business. Like, what would your contribution be to improving the music business?
wow, my contribution would be
Because there's always room for improvement. So like, what would you
oh
feel? What would Trav offer? You know what I'm saying, to the music business? And I'm not saying like, oh, obviously the
yeah.
ego in this as artists will be like, my album, it's fire. You know what I'm saying? Like, what
No, for sure.
business wise, what would your contribution be to improving, the music
Um,
business?
I I think for me, if I can improve anything, man, I think it's really just about, you know, artist as an artist, just trying to be true to yourself for a minute. And when I say that, you know, because I get it, you know, it's all types of different artists out here. We get it, you know, you got the, you know, today's artists, you got your trap artists, you got your
Right.
boom bap artists, you got all type of artists. But I feel like a lot of today artists are just missing themselves. I mean, they don't have the true identity of who they are. They're kind of like this person wearing a mask, and they're just out here just kind of just doing, you know, what they feel motherfuckers want to see at
Yeah.
the end of the day. But I always believe in just staying true to yourself. It's like, you know, I met an artist a while back ago, dope artist, you know, very talented. And he was, you know, he was from the suburbs, and that's cool, you know. Like I'm not a person. I don't care about where you're from, as long as you're true to where you're
Right.
from, you know. But the stuff he was rapping about, you know, it just didn't add up for where he was from,
Mm.
you know. And you know, and young guy too, man. Like I say, very talented young dude, man. And you know, and I asked him, you know, I just was curious. I said, man, yo, you know, all that stuff you was rapping about, this stuff, you know. I said, you know, like, have any of it have you really done? And he was just like, man, nah. He's like,
Yeah. See.
I just rap about
Or
it
like
because,
even if
you
you ain't do
know.
it, like is that something you've been around or experienced? Like, do you,
Yeah. I was just wondering, like, because he
is
was
that
rapping
somebody's
about some.
story? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. He was rapping about like a street cat story, like, you know, he been out here in the street
Because you could
shootouts
be
and all
from
that
it
stuff.
and not be of it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, but if it ain't neither, it's like, damn, nah, man. Like,
Yeah.
be yourself.
Well, he had never been in the hood. Like
Oh, damn, yeah, no.
yeah. So that's what it was curious, because I was just trying to pick his brain apart, just to really get into the perspective of, like, is this really your life? You know, because he was going so hard. That's why I say he was talented. And I'm like,
Yeah,
wow, I really wanted to just see, like, was this really you? And he was just honest. He was like, man, to be honest, he was like, nah, it's just something I rap about, because, man, that's what I feel like everybody want to hear. And I was just like, wow, you know, like,
yeah, man.
you know, and it blew me back, because I'm like, this is what's crazy, is because this is what a lot of artists are really doing. They don't even want to be themselves, because they feel like nobody wants to hear themselves. You know,
So
nobody
this
want to hear
is
who you are.
so mainly just kind of like as far as artists,
Yeah.
I guess that will fall under improving artist development as far as like a
Yeah.
way where we can let's help them still be themselves, but
Yeah.
conveying it through the music and it's their brand as an
Exactly.
overall artist. That's
Bringing this overall artist. If you come from the suburbs, I want to hear you rap about you coming from the suburbs.
yeah,
I want to hear that perspective, because I'm not from the suburbs. You know what I mean? Like, you know, well, it's relevant now, but but I, you know, I wasn't born and raised in the suburbs, so I don't know that perspective of growing up, born and raised in the suburbs.
so I want to hear it
So
from you, like
I want
whoever.
to hear from
Yeah,
you. Yeah, you know about it. So I just want to hear that perspective of how it was growing up in that type of environment, because I don't know. So, you know, like, that's my thing of staying true to it. If that's what you about, then that's what you about. Accept it, embrace it. You know what I
so
mean?
and tying it back into like we was talking about the whole thing with entrepreneurship, what are some other ventures that you're tapped into or looking to tap into outside of just emceeing and just being a producer? Like, what's some other ventures you locking into?
Right now, man, is really just trying to get into the you know, clothing and designing issue, you know, business
Okay.
and stuff like that. And I don't want to sound like the stereotypical, you know, artist or whatever, but that's always been my
That's
second
a
biggest
lane though. That's a
passion.
lane.
It's a lane for sure, but a lot of people don't know that about me. That I'm a fashion head. Like, I love fashion, and you know, like, I love designing and just creating stuff. So for me, is always been to tap into that lane and go real hard with that. But it's a lot more stuff beyond that too. That, you know, we'll sit here hours talking about that I would, you know,
Absolutely.
love to do. But as far as, you know, after music, I mean, or, you know, once the music stuff pop off, like, definitely I would really like to go hard on the clothes and merch and stuff like that. So
Being that you mentioned music, because you've been real consistent as of late.
Yeah,
releasing the singles that I noticed, and we always talk about that, like just constantly just throwing the singles out there,
yes,
putting that
sir.
bait out there to leave them wanting more. So as an artist, or let's say artist brand, um, tell us why, or the people listening, tell them why they need to check out your music, and share it online, because that's the thing. You'll share my music, or not even telling people to share it, but just like see they
Yeah,
see it, it'd be dope enough for them to share. Like why
for sure.
to new listeners that's tapping in, that's not, they may not, they may have heard the show, they may have heard me solo on some episodes, but now they hear, oh, we got a
Right.
guest on here, so oh, you do music, oh, you rap and you make beats, so like tell them why they
Yeah,
should check you out, and
cause I,
furthermore even share your work.
for sure. Cause I'm the shit. It's like no, I'm just playing. No, I'm messing around, but no,
That's right,
no,
own it, man.
no, I thought I wanted to be an asshole for a minute, but no,
It feels
no, man.
good.
It felt good, right, right. No, but honestly, man, I just I feel like people, just I can give a breath of fresh air, if you will, just for my perspective and my take on hip hop. I obviously my music is hard. It's hardcore. It can be grimy, but it can also be something for the mind too, man. It just depends on what mood I'm in, as far as what I'm releasing and stuff like that, man. But like you said, as of lately, yeah, I've been consistent, but with music that I've been putting out. Like obviously, the latest single out right now, "Dope Panic," featuring DJ DDT
Yep.
on the ones and twos. We dropped that back in August 19th. It's been out, so it's been out a couple months now.
And you got another one coming. I saw it was the
Yeah,
Goldberg joint, right?
yeah. Another one on the way, man. We just trying to keep the momentum going. Goldberg is coming. That's J Quest, which is one of my producer
Shout
crew
out.
members. Yeah, shout out to J Quest, man. Beats, man. Please, man. He's like the diamond in the dirt, and
He
I
different,
just
man, and you different,
he is
man. I keep
different.
telling, say, man, tell
Yeah.
Trap, like I see you keeping them, and tell Trap keep the beats out there, man. I heard his beats, man.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing to,
Yeah. I'm trying. Hey, man, listen. The crew just make me stay on my p's and q's, man. Because listening to Quest and listening to DDT, man, and even listening to our other bro Snoop Grand, man. We just collectively, like, them boys make me. Whew, they're vicious with the production, man. Just put it
tell
like
them the
that,
name,
man.
man, so they could be, because I shouted out, but tell them the name, man, so they could be familiar, man, because they need to know, man.
Yeah.
Y'all got it.
Yeah, man.
Listen.
We got J Quest Beats. We have DJ DDT, Snoop Grand, and myself, Travis Slang, man. Collectively, we are Creative Notes, man. And we are a foursome production crew, man, that is taking the hip hop game on the production level by storm, man. And we just applying pressure, man. Applying pressure, and
And that's Creative Notes with a Z. So
with the Z, yes, Creative Notes with the Z, Notes with the Z at the end. You can also even we have an online store where you can purchase merch from,
yep.
www dot creative notes with the Z at the end LLC.com. And you can, you're looking for t-shirts, different things, just to support the movement and what we're doing. You're more than welcome to go on there and support that. But yes, man. Goldberg is up next. It's the next single, next installment of my singles that I've been dropping. Creative Notes X. I mean, not Creative Notes. I'm sorry. It's Travis Lane X J Quest Beats. It's basically a collabo. But he did the beats. Obviously, he did the
Yeah.
production on it, and I'm just doing my natural due diligence, which is spitting bars, and
Absolutely.
it's another vicious track. It's just bars, raw, aggressive, and that's coming real soon. We haven't got a solid date for it, but we just stay tuned.
No, that's
Just
good. Just keep everybody on their toes. Like, well, I know it's coming. Instead, I'd
it's
rather that.
coming.
Just let me know it's coming
Yeah,
soon, like consistently, as opposed to just coming out of nowhere. Because there's so
yes,
much shit that
sir.
come out, man. When people just drop surprisingly, it's like, nah,
Right,
because now I'm gonna forget. It's like, but if you
right.
put it out, you know what I'm saying? Just let me know it's coming and cool.
Yes, sir.
You
It's
know what I'm
coming.
saying?
Definitely coming. And that's what we've been doing, is just trying to just keep people alert that, yo, it's coming. We ain't telling you when yet, but it's on the way. There's no
Yeah, it's on your mind. I seen they said they
yo.
had something coming, so it's on their mind. Now, where can we find you at online?
Man, you can find
Music
me on
platforms, social media included, you know.
and I am everywhere as far as digital platforms go. Apple Music. You can Google Travis Slang. A lot of my stuff will pop up. But I'm on Apple Music, Spotify, Deezer, um, everything digital pretty much. As far as social media platforms, you can get at me on Instagram at Travis underscore Slang. Slang is spelled SLANG. I'm also on Twitter at Travis Slang 313. You can get on me on there, and also on Facebook at Travis Slang, CN at the end,
Yes,
CN.
sir.
So yeah, man.
And
So
we
y'all
gon'
get with me.
yeah,
Yeah.
man. I'm looking forward to the single, man. If you feel free to shoot the MP3 over if I need to hear it. But I can wait. I can wait, man. I can wait.
Yes,
I
sir.
want to do
Nah,
it fresh.
you know
You know,
what? It's crazy. It's crazy you say that because I was like, man, I always, I got so much respect for you, Tag, man, and
appreciate it,
it's
man.
crazy because we don't, I know we don't get a chance to talk often, man, but I have a tremendous amount of respect for you, man, and just, you in particular, man, because to be honest, man, you were one of the ones that, my peers that showed me love firsthand, that really, put me on something, that really took a chance and just really listened to me before you, man. It wasn't, I wasn't cracking yet, but man, so I'm, forever thanking you for that, man. And
That's big,
like I
man.
said,
I appreciate that big time, and same
yeah,
here, man. So I just
yeah,
respect work. That ethic is there, man, and we see
yeah,
it. We always cheering each other on. So that's what's neat,
always,
man, for sure.
always, always, man. I appreciate you for real.
And you always welcome to the show, man. You know it. Like now that
Sure.
you know broke the barrier with getting on to the show, man. Anytime you got some shit to kick it about, we gonna kick it, man, for sure.
Let's get it, man. Always, man. We here, man. Anything you need, we got you. So.
Absolutely, man. Y'all know where y'all can find me. For those of y'all listening, it's nametagalexander.com. Catch me on all the platforms, the usual, from Apple Music, Spotify. This podcast, of course, on the platforms Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts. And then I'm on social media. Just search all things Name Tag Alexander. If I didn't say the website, again, that's www.nametag.alexander.com. It's been another episode of A Name Tag is Necessary, and we out.